Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm really pleased to say that we've hit a huge milestone for the channel. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and that is something that I never ever in my wildest dreams sort of imagined that we would achieve. It seems pretty silly, I imagine for some of you, because there's channels out there with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of subscribers, and to just say that I have a humble 1,000 might seem like not that much to some of you, but really that is just unbelievable. I think when I started the channel I didn't think that more than say 10 people would watch my videos, and to have that many people subscribe to the channel, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you. And if you're not subscribed already, then now might be the best time to just hit that button down below and keep up to date with all the things that we've got up and coming. And yeah, I just want to say I'm hugely grateful for all of your support, and here's to the next 1K. So today I'm doing something pretty different for the channel, and it's something that I've seen quite a few of my YouTube friends doing, and I really like this style of video. And this is a wrap-up video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of wrap up everything that I've read each month, but I'm also going to kind of sprinkle in a little bit of what I've been playing video game wise, and also what anime I've been watching. So to kick off, the first category I suppose for this month that we're going to talk about is of course manga. This is a manga channel, so obviously I'm going to talk about what manga I've been reading. For the last month I've been picking up the Blade of the Immortal omnibus versions. These are really good solid releases from Dark Horse, and I really love the spines. And great news for some of you, if you can't find the odd volumes, they're releasing a deluxe edition. So this is probably going to be quite similar to their current Berserk deluxe editions, and they've also got a Hellsing deluxe edition which is on the way. And although I love those, I really think they're quite stylish and slick. I already had the first 3 omnibuses of Blade of the Immortal, so I didn't plan on selling those to just rebuy them. Same reason why I have all of these Berserk singles behind me instead of those really nice leather-bound deluxe editions. Yeah, I'm definitely not bitter about that. But for this month I've been steadily picking up the final omnibus versions that I need. I currently have up to volume 7, and I've steadily been working my way through them. I'm just on to volume 5 now, so halfway through the series, and I can honestly say that this is one of my favourite samurai series, if not one of my favourite seinen series that I've ever read. I think a lot of people talk about Blade of the Immortal and it has a lot of hype surrounding it, and for some reason I ignored that for a long time, and I really regret it. It tells the story of a samurai who's hired by a girl to help her get revenge against her parents' murderers. The catch is that this samurai is, of course, immortal, as the title says. But it's not just kind of a bit of a gimmick. Like, going into it, I sort of thought it would just be, every week he would get killed in some different sort of way, and he'd just come back to life at the last moment, the most opportune moment, and defeat the villain. And there are a couple of instances where that happens, but where Blade of the Immortal really shines is just its character development. There are so many interesting characters in this, including the villains themselves, and each one of them gets their own backstory and their own kind of character arcs, and it's so fleshed out and so engaging. So yeah, highly recommend you check that one out. And of course, support Dark Horse and get their really nice omnibus versions. One important thing to note, however, is that Blade of the Immortal is printed back to front. For reasons, beyond my understanding, it's printed left to right. Whether this is the artist's kind of idea or whether it was to appeal to more of the Western audiences, I don't know, but actually it's not that distracting. I completely forgot after a few volumes, so if that's going to put you off, please don't let that be the case and don't miss out on this great series. Next this month I finished off the Dragon Ball Z manga box set. That's not to say I read the whole thing this month, but I read the last 10 volumes, which kind of spanned the end of the Cell saga and then the entirety of the Majin Buu saga. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know my opinions on this. Dragon Ball Z is one of my favourite series of all time. It's what got me into anime. It's what, kind of started this journey for me. But the manga is really different. for good reasons and bad reasons. The pacing is sometimes so much better because it cuts out all the filler, but then at the same time, it's not, because to have that build up for some of the villains in the anime as a child was like a really kind of big thing, and each week you would watch it to see what happens, whereas in the manga sometimes it feels a little bit like within a chapter, you know, the enemy kind of introduces himself and is defeated, and it can be a little bit lame. Also, I just want to say that the Cell Saga is still one of the best sagas in manga, or in shonen manga at least. And for me, I definitely felt that's where the series should have ended, and the Majin Buu saga felt almost like a cash grab and like an afterthought. Although the character designs for Majin Buu is like really cool and it's quite creepy, and I remember really loving it when I watched it. Yeah, it's definitely apparent now that Toriyama probably should have stopped at around the Cell Saga. The next two reads for this month were completely different, but both exactly what I was looking for. So the first was After the Rain Volume 2. This was a really great romance series. It's about a young girl who is in love and has a crush on her manager at work. Now, Japan has the tendency to make kind of sleazy romances sometimes, but this one was actually really tasteful and really well done. And although I'm only, you know, 2 volumes in, well, it's technically 4 because they're like 2-in-1s, it's really well done. It's really tasteful. There's quite a lot of comedy in there, and yeah, it was just a real sort of breath of fresh air from what I've been currently reading, so it's nice to kind of branch out every now and then and have a break from battle shonen manga. The next series, of course, was Blood on the Tracks by Shuzo Ashimi. I read the first volume, and if you haven't seen The Genius of Shuzo Ashimi video, I will link it somewhere within this video. But if you don't know already, he is my favourite mangaka. He produces such thought-provoking manga, and this is no different. If you don't know, it follows the story of a boy and his mother and their relationship, and how sometimes parents can be too overprotective. That is the most spoiler-free kind of synopsis that I can give. All I can say is you need to read this, and I cannot wait for Vertical to release the second volume. Okay, last but not least, I picked up a huge manga deal from Kodansha, but it's not what you expect, it's digital manga. I'm obviously a huge fan of collecting physical manga. I think there's just nothing that you can really compare to having manga on display, but this was called the Humble Bundle. Essentially, I got hundreds of volumes of manga for £16. The series were all award-winning series, so it includes To Your Eternity from the creator of The Silent Voice, Beck Mongolian Chop Squad, which I have been avidly reading and I'm on volume 17 already, Space Brothers, which is supposedly a really critically acclaimed series that isn't in print, so the only way you can get it is digitally, and that's the same with Beck Mongolian Chop Squad. And also Princess Jellyfish, and I believe there's a few others in there as well. This to me was a no-brainer. I think I was apprehensive at first because I don't read manga digitally, but I thought, you know, hell, if I kind of read 4 volumes of it at least, I've got my money's worth out of it. And lo and behold, I'm like 20 volumes in and absolutely loving it. It's giving me kind of a new sort of appreciation for digital manga, and I'm definitely going to be releasing a video on this topic very soon. Okay, next for video games that I've played this month, I'm eagerly anticipating the release of The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us is by far one of my favourite games that I've ever played. So of course this month I played it again. I think this makes the 3rd time that I've played through this game. If you've never played it before, it's ridiculously cheap to get hold of, and it's well worth your time. Obviously it's a Sony exclusive, so sorry Xbox and PC fans, I don't think you can get this, but if you have a PlayStation and you haven't played The Last of Us, you're doing yourself a disservice. Zombies are something that I've always really loved, and this is a new spin on that, and it's all about human relationships, and it's just got so much in it that you should definitely check it out. It goes without saying, The Last of Us 2 will probably take over my life for the next month or so, I imagine, after this. Especially considering that I heard in a video kind of sneak peek that we've been getting from Naughty Dog that there are actual whole parts of the story in Last of Us 2 that you may or may not even discover. Because they've made the world so open, you can probably find entire parts of the game that someone else might never discover if they don't venture off the standard trail. Okay, next this month is a little bit of a guilty pleasure of mine, and I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist on Nintendo Switch. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was something that I was hugely into as a kid. I had all the cards and I watch the TV show like everybody else. That's not to say that you can't enjoy it now as an adult, and this game is pretty bare bones. It feels a little bit like a mobile game that they've expanded, but it's actually really fun. Like, it's really addictive. You can play through the entirety of the anime. It has new and old cards in there. It's kind of got all the way up to like the current rules of the game and like all the new sort of expansions and everything. There's a lot of stuff in there that I didn't know existed because I'm out of the loop with Yu-Gi-Oh! But I've really enjoyed playing through the story of the first arc, and some of the battles are really hard. Like, you can choose to use the story decks, so the decks that the people in the anime would have used, or you can build your own. And yeah, it's sort of like, as someone who kind of really likes strategy games, it's just been a lot of endless fun for me. So yeah, definitely check that out if you can, and it's really cheap on Amazon as well, so definitely recommend it. And finally, for this monthly wrap up, the anime that I've been watching. So I haven't watched all that much anime. I kind of struggle with seasonal anime, so don't expect me to say that I've watched the latest episodes of, Demon Slayer or whatever that's on Crunchyroll at the minute, because I've never been the guy that follows simulcasts and that watches series as soon as they come out. I'm more of the guy to wait for really nice releases and buy them and binge them. I bought quite a few things. I bought Gundam Wing, the new release from Anime Limited, and the Endless Waltz movie that came with this really nice collector's box set. But I haven't got around to watching any of the newer things I bought. Instead, I've gone back to an old favourite. I'm of course talking about Baccano. This is one of my favourite series. I've watched it through several times, and it's set in New York in an old school kind of gangster style, but it's got loads of different types of characters in there, and it feels like Pulp Fiction almost, but in a mafia way. Like, it's tons of characters, tons of storylines, how they all interlink with each other. There's murder, a ghost train, so much in this series, and it's so much fun. It's from the author of Durarara, so if you like that series and you haven't seen Baccano, definitely check it out. Obviously, it's for 18 and up, so use your own discretion, but yeah, definitely one of my old favourites. This and Code Geass seem to be series that I can't stop watching, so God help me. Yeah, that's about it for everything that I've read and watched and played this month. If you like this style of video, then please let me know down below, and of course let me know what you guys have been reading. I'm always interested to know what you guys are up to, and if there's anything that I'm missing out on that I should definitely check out. So yeah, thanks again, and thanks for the 1,000 subscribers. Still can't get over that, and I will catch you next time, guys.